shit.
Nobody. I will challenge anybody on this. And please, if you're hearing this and you've been on the jumbo, write in. I will challenge. Nobody has been embarrassed more on a jumbotron than me.
Subscribe!
Chrissy D back on KFC Radio. Got a show coming up in Foxwoods. That Feidelberg will be attending.
You're going?
Because he bought tickets like a
He's
fucking...
so mad.
When did you buy tickets?
I don't know. My friend bought them like a month ago, probably.
My God.
Let's call it 2 months.
Why don't you
Labor
just
Day
hit me
weekend.
up?
Labor Day weekend. When's that?
Well, how about this?
Yeah, about a month and a half ago.
So instead of hitting you up for the tickets, he wants to hit you up for a ride.
Bro, I don't know how to get to Foxwoods. I've been trying to figure out how to get to Foxwoods for a month and a half.
On public transportation?
Yeah.
Dude, get a car.
What do you mean? You can't rent cars?
You can't rent cars?
Renting cars, impossible right now.
Because of COVID? Or
I don't know exactly why. I tried to rent a car. Impossible. Can't be done. I think I'm going to take a train home to Boston and get a ride to Foxwoods.
Yeah, so I mean, let me first.
Just wait till Chris is at the cellar or some shit. This is crazy
This
town.
is an insane thing that you're doing right now. Well, here's the thing. My mom is driving up. Do you want to go with my mom? Because I can't, my car's packed. I can't take you because I got Pimp in his equipment and my opener. But would you like to go with my mom?
That would be so funny.
Talk to me about your friend. Is your friend, what is he, Catholic or Jewish?
Well, first of all, they're all Catholic. Don't worry. I'm
Okay, so that's, mom is listening.
But they're all coming from Boston. I'm the only one going from New York.
Oh,
so
dude.
I'm going with probably 5 friends or so, and they're all coming from Boston. So I'm the only one coming from
And then
here.
you're going to make it like a Foxwoods weekend. Are you going Saturday just for the show and then leaving
we're
Sunday?
just going Saturday night.
Go up Friday night.
He's just coming for you, babe.
Dude, I've like never seen you. We saw you.
Yeah, we
you
see you
I-
through this, but we don't see you on stage.
Yeah, I don't see you on stage. I think I saw you open for Sean Latham once.
Right.
And
That's
the
insane.
and I think that's all I've ever seen you do.
Dude, and I'm putting a show on sale in like literally a week in New York, like a big show, and I'm like, wow.
I'll be at that one too. I'll buy tickets to that one too. I buy tickets to shit because I fucking get so annoyed when people ask me.
You know what?
Yeah.
I would have. Oh, by the way, I really appreciate that. I would always though give you guys tickets. Always. Some people that sometimes come out of the fucking woodwork for tickets. No, I always buy merch. I never ask for free.
Yes.
I always just buy the merch.
I agree.
Which, if you guys want merch, Anxiety Tuesday, ChristyChaos.co.
Only after you buy our merch first, though.
Yeah.
It's our show. He's on our show. You buy our merch, and then you buy
Our merch. But I appreciate you saying that. But yeah, dude, the show, and I just gonna have you know, the show in Foxwoods this Saturday. It's gonna be a good show, but the show you're gonna really want to come to the one that I do in New York because I'm gonna unleash fucking TiTi Jerry on that show.
Holy shit.
I'm gonna let her go onto the stage.
Yo, TiTi Jerry, if you're not familiar with Chris's work, Chris has a extended family member, I guess. Is it actually Jazz's real uncle,
it's
or is it one of
literally-
these things where you call him uncle and you're not uncle?
No, it is my girlfriend's godfather.
Got it.
Who was a transgender woman.
From
Now.
ex-convict who was just the sweetest fucking sweetheart.
sweetest.
I mean, she's entertaining. She's got a heart of gold. Stories out of her
Right.
fucking ass. And, I mean, it's actually
A lot of stuff comes out of her ass.
Yeah.
And into her ass.
It's actually really, really sweet and like nice what you've done for her. Like she got out of prison and now is living a life that she got on a plane for the first time.
Everything for the first time.
She's a
First
fucking
time playing.
she's
That's
a rock star.
Always like.
I took her to
baffles me.
dinner on Long Island. We all took her to dinner on Long Island 2 weeks ago. It was the first time she'd ever been in Long Island. She lived on New York her whole life. And first time she ever sat down in a restaurant and ordered dinner. She's like, I've never done this. I was like, what do you mean you've never done it?
Did she get locked up like really early or something?
She was like 19, but she was like, we grew up
Before
so
that, she was so
poor.
poor,
She was
she
like,
never went to a
nobody
restaurant.
ever. She's like, I've been to fast food places and like Chinese food takeouts and pizzerias, but
never
I've
had a
never.
waiter?
I've never sat. She did not know what to do. I swear to God, she did not know what to do. And we were saying, because she was like looking at the menu and asking me and Jasmine these questions, and then Jasmine was like, "Have you ever been out to dinner?" And she was like, "No." And I was like, holy shit.
I mean,
She's
that
like,
to me is fascinating.
it was crazy. She was like, and so I'll just tell the waiter what I want. And I was like, yeah, just whatever you want. And then,
But it's also like, have you ever seen a movie, TT? Like,
yeah, I know.
it's-
No, and you know what's crazy about her is we were going to get her teeth fixed for her because she has like, her teeth are all fucked up. And she was like, no, I don't want to get my teeth fixed because this will remind me of where I came from and doing drugs and all that stuff, so I want to just have missing teeth. I was like, you're saying that, but it's real. But it's really because you suck dick. Like, if you literally give a better blowjob, like you're literally. I know that you're still prostituting yourself and being paid to give blowjobs, and the customers come back when you have less teeth. So let's stop bullshit.
There are so many better ways to remember the hard life you had.
Yeah, get a tattoo or something.
Not being able to smile.
I was like, you have scars all over your body from being stabbed with shanks. Like, that's a reminder. But the teeth thing, it's like you're giving head, and I know what it is. She's the best. I wish I should have. I mean,
she's one of the biggest characters on the internet in my mind now. Like, we have a collection here of the whack pack of people that we just find and give full-time jobs for like insane salaries. But she's right up there as one of these people who, like, you know, undeniably one of a kind, totally unique.
Oh my God, dude!
Like, you're not gonna find another one like her. There's plenty of people who've been in and out of prison, but to be on the internet, transgender, with the personality she has and the outlook on life, it's actually really. It's like I don't know. When I see her, I'm like, I stopped complaining about dumb shit, and I remember like
it's really her outlook. It's really her outlook on life. It's that's all it is. We showed her the Dave Chappelle special, and it's like, whatever. This is just her one opinion. But I was like, what do you think of this? And she was like, I think this is great. I was like, really? I was like, there's a lot of trans people. There's a lot of people right now who are saying they have problems with this. She was like, are they trans? I was like, most of them probably not. She was like, they need to shut their fucking mouths. She was like, you don't know what it's like to be trans. She was like, I like that Chappelle is bringing awareness to trans people. She's like, that's what I like. At least somebody's talking about it. And I was like, interesting. I was like, she also thinks being trans now is hack. She's like, I was trans in the late 70s.
Back when it was fucking.
She was like, everybody does it now. She was like, it's so boring now.
Yeah. Late 70s that's
OG trans.
No. She was like, because she got time added onto her prison sentence when she already had been handed down like 15 years. She got 10 years added for stabbing someone. And she was like, I would stabbed him and stabbed multiple people because they were attacking me because I was trans. She was like, now everybody in prison, trans get everything. She was like, if you're trans, like, do you get the security guards will not fuck with you. That's the last thing they want is to have a trans person complain about them. Where back then you would get your ass kicked for it, and I would have to stab people. So her mindset is, hey, we paved the way. Trans people have it easy. Obviously they don't, but it's interesting to have a 56-year-old woman, trans person on my podcast. Like, that is not what Hollywood wants, because it's interesting because she's ethnic, Puerto Rican, diverse, trans, gay, and she's saying the exact opposite things of what majority of those people are saying.
Absolutely.
But it's like, is she wrong? No, she just has a different point of view. Like, she fucking loves Donald Trump, loves him, and she said everybody in prison loved him. She's like, the thing is, because I was in prison. She was like, I was in prison, so we all loved Donald Trump. She was like, we're in jail. She was like, we're all like, Donald Trump's a real motherfucker. He's a real motherfucker. She was like, everybody knows. And you know what she said is interesting? She said, and this, again, just her. I am not saying this. This is what she says, but it's interesting. She's like, when you go into prison, this is what she said. She goes, when you go into prison, she goes, you realize the Democrats lied to you. She was like, you realize that, oh, I'm just a slave. She was like, say shit like that. She's like, Democrats been lying to you. She was like, they don't want to help me. And I was like, whoa, that's fucking wild. And I was like, Republicans lie to you too, though.
I mean, everybody's fucking lying.
I was like, everybody's lying to you.
The Democrats are lying. The Republicans hate you.
Yeah, that's what I said.
They outright think you should go to hell.
Yeah, I know. So, but it's just when you get institutionalized, like she sleeps at my house. We have this great guest room for her, comfy mattress. Every single time I gotta wake her up, she's sleeping on the floor. She puts a blanket on the floor because she's like, I don't know. She's like, my mattress is that thin for 25
that breaks my heart.
No, but I said that too. She's like, no, I'm comfortable like this. She goes, I want to live like this.
Shawshank Brooks was
That's how she lives, man.
I can really relate to it because sometimes I fall asleep on the couch and I get upset when people move me to the bed. It's exactly the same thing. I feel comfortable on the couch, so don't worry about it. I'm good.
I want to be there. Yeah, dude.
How much? How do you think you would last in prison?
She told me what I needed to do if I ever got convicted of a crime and had to go to prison. She said, you immediately need to ask either to go into solitary confinement, immediately ask that, use all the money in your legal fees to go into solitary confinement because you will survive, because it will just be you, unless somebody pays off the guards and then they'll kill you. They'll come,
because that's also dangerous, because then you're like, there's no witnesses and shit. So like,
So it said it's a double-edged sword, but he said most likely now they won't. second, he said, you claim that you are trans. She said, because then they will send you to a trans ward of the prison.
Just like prove it though?
No, she was like, not anymore. You used to, but not anymore. You can just say, I'm currently
show me your fucking pussy.
Yeah. She said, now you might have to start taking estrogen therapy to prove it, but she was like, whatever. You already got fucking chunky tits anyway, so just go do it. Who cares?
Fat ass.
What's a little bit more?
To go.
What's a little more nipple fat? So that was her advice. But she said I would absolutely be in big trouble.
See, dude, we had the exact opposite take. Not take. We were giving the exact opposite answer. We had Wallow from $1 Million Worth of Game was in here. And he did 17 years?
Yep.
27 years?
Or no, he got out. Yeah.
Something like that.
Years,
a lot of years.
Right.
And we were like, well, like, how would we do? Same kind of question. And I said my big thing was I really didn't want to become a white supremacist.
Right.
I don't know. Our views
Interesting
don't align
with your choice of mustache.
Yeah. I just
you were becoming one outside. Yeah. I love it. Yeah.
It's the tattoo I just got.
Oh, I can't wait.
And they were like, Wallow was like, nah, man. He's like, it's not like that at all. You'd be fine. You could talk.
He was like, prison's fine.
Yeah,
he was like,
almost like reminds me of how you talked, how your dad talked about it in your 9/11 stories. Like, either way, I'm in jail. I'd rather be on actual prison with my friends.
Yeah. So I guess it's different. Prisons got different, kind of ways about them too, because she was saying as her prison sentence carried on, it got a little bit, she just got more and more comfortable. She said by the last year of her prison sentence, she was sleeping with her prison door open, cell open. Like it starts to become once you establish yourself, nobody's really
she sounded like a fucking G. Like she was saying how she ran the gay
she ran the gay part of prison.
She would out people like there was a guy who was talking shit and using slurs, but then would come and want to suck her dick.
Yeah.
So she would all right, meet me in the shower, and then she would have everybody come in and surprise, look, he's fucking gay.
Yeah, she did. She said her prison husband.
I won't shank you, I'll out you.
Her prison husbands, because she was always the prison wife, but her prison husbands, she said, would never their families would come up and visit them. These guys had wives and kids. They would come up and visit them in prison, and she would say, you can't leave the cell. You're my wife now. Or I'm your wife now. You cannot leave the cell.
Kids and shit.
Yeah, so they said a lot of them would never leave because. But then when they go on the outside, all of a sudden they don't have a prison wife.
Dude, you are a badass if you're you don't get to see the kids and shit. Sit in there and clean the toilets.
Yes, that's what it is. Because she was
she wouldn't do that, but other people did. Or
no, she said she would because she was the thing is with prison is she was I didn't want to do that. You always have to maintain your dominance. Always. She's that is a survival thing. She's I did not want that man to not see his wife and kids, but I also want to let everybody know what a bad motherfucker I was. So I was
it's so crazy because she's so nice.
Yeah, she said one of the guys whose wives and kids came out, I'm sure he's in prison for life, but he had murdered people and that's why he was in jail, and she would make him sit in the fucking cell. Now, granted, there's no way for me to prove these stories are true or not, but why not?
It seems a weird thing to make up some of these details. I mean, she's got to be quite the storyteller.
Blowing the son of Sam, hooking up with Ronald DeFeo, stabbing people's eyes
Who's
out.
Ronald DeFeo? I don't know.
Amityville Horror House guy. She said he was a real nut. The only one.
Yeah.
She was but he was the craziest person she's ever met in prison because she was they would be talking to him. You'd be oh, hey, Ronnie, whatever. How's your day? And she's for 10 years, whatever long she was in prison, he'd be oh, great. He'd be I'm just really upset I didn't get to kill my grandma. I should have killed my grandma. That's it. But what do you, how are you? Like that. And he would say that constantly and that's the story's his grandma wasn't in the house. He killed his entire family but her. He's I needed to kill her or I'm not going to get the prize. Whatever he would say, but and then he died.
That's fucking awesome. Imagine that was your big miss.
Yeah.
Didn't get grandma.
I didn't kill but you know what, Ronnie? COVID did. COVID got her. So
grandma's gonna fall down the stairs soon. Don't worry.
Yeah, man. So that's been good. Those characters in my life,
And now, I mean, all due respect to Pete Davidson, but you are the king of Staten Island right now.
I am. I'll tell you what. I may not be the king of Staten Island, but TiTi Jerry is certainly the queen. Because TiTi Jerry, it's funny because I live on a relatively private block-ish, so it was very funny to move in and not only come with, a team of Puerto Ricans behind me, but then one of them being a transgender ex-convict and just watch these white upper-class people be like, what is going on in that house? Dude, when we were moving in, still kind of settling in. We only lived there for a month, but dude, every morning Jasmine, is in the garage blasting salsa music that you can hear from outside. I'm like, they've been very sweet to us, and they are actually really great people. But I have to imagine that when they're at bed at night, they're like, what is happening at that fucking house?
They're on fucking Zillow. We gotta find a new spot.
They're like, there goes the neighborhood.
Yeah, because the people who used to live there were like, uppity, olderish white people whose kids got old and they moved out, and now we've fucking repainted the house. Everything looks different, and
there's
now
a big fucking Puerto Rican flag hanging.
Oh my god, dude! I mean, it's like
painted a star on the lawn.
I know. The first time we met the neighbors across the street, they were like, "Oh, hi," we're like, "Hi, I'm Chris, I'm Jasmine." He was like, "Yeah," and then so they're like just like regular white people, whatever. And then they were like,
they're regular white racists,
just regular white racists. And they were like, "Oh, moving in, talking about career stuff and all that stuff." I didn't even tell them I was in comedy. I was like, "Oh, I'm saying I work for myself. I'm self-employed." And they were like, "Yeah." And then Jasmine went in to like take the kids in, and she was like, "What is?" And he was like, "What does your wife do?" I was like, "Well, she's Italian, but she's not. She's Puerto Rican." I was like, "She's 100% Italian. It's what she does and what she is. She's a white woman." and then I told you,
what does she do? She does white.
Yeah.
I do white.
No, but then I was just kidding. But then I was like, no, she's all Puerto Rican. They're like, "Oh yeah, they're like, I used to have a friend whose friend's friend was Puerto Rican." But they don't come up this hill a lot. I'm like, well,
we don't let them on the porch ever.
Now we live there. Yeah. I know, it's funny. As soon as TiTi Jerry came out, you just saw for sale, just everywhere, right down the thing.
Property values plummeting. You bought a house for $1 million. It's now worth $750 overnight.
You can say it about a million things, but like that's a TV show. With that extreme characters.
The comedian comes with his kids, his stepkids, his Puerto Rican wife, his transgender uncle, And you know what's funny is the characters on Staten Island
God.
It's not like you're going to Westchester, New York. It's like they're fucking as crazy in the other direction.
They're fully fucking crazy.
Staten Island's a weird place, bro.
I went to a party and they said that like a little party with a couple of neighbors and all that, and they were said at the restaurant that we were at that if you are vaccinated, they don't want you there.
Oh, really?
So they don't want vaccinated people there. Well, that was one of those. So it's like if you are vaccinated,
party?
They do not come in here. We don't want because their belief is that it gets in the air and they don't want it to get in them, and then they'll get blood clots. God. So that's what So that's where I'm living.
It's so crazy.
Staten Island. Oh yeah, and literally.
Why'd you go to Staten Island?
Space, property value. Also, it's like it's close enough to Brooklyn. It's kind of like. If you're not familiar with the New York area, it's like an extended area of Brooklyn where you can like actually get a house. I just wanted what I didn't grow up with, what Jasmine didn't grow up with. Like, my kids all have their own bedrooms. We got a pool. We got a backyard. We got a fireplace. I can park directly in front of my house. Like all these things that I didn't grow up with.
Was that at the house where you took that fucking spill?
Yes.
Dude, that spill was... That's one of the funniest spills I've ever seen.
And then watch it on YouTube.
And then my neighbor across the street saw the entire thing because I fell. A woman, like a relatively hot woman, saw like the entire thing. She was waiting. I was walking to go get my kid off the bus. She was waiting for her kid to get off the bus, and then I just fucking ate it. And then when I fell,
you fell.
Just like a sack of shit, just ankles exploded. And then I go, I haven't fallen in a while.
You just said that?
No, because I was talking to her, but on the camera, I was like, oh, that's why. I was like, man, I've been looking for that thing. It was a piece of my daughter's bike, but I was so. And then it was one of those things where she was like, are you okay? I was like, not really, but I'll be fine.
I got to put on a good face right now.
I just started talking about something else, but it was like one of the only times in my life that I can remember, or at least as I started comedy, I was like actually embarrassed because she saw the whole thing. And then I was like, and then I ran back in after I got my daughter from school to like try to delete the footage, and Jasmine was already recording it. She had saw the whole thing. I was like, fuck.
She's going to make sure that hot girl down the block never looks at you.
Never.
Fucking.
I know. So I posted, but how crazy is the world we live in now? I have a Vivint security system, it's called. Vivint saw that video, and now they're like, hey, we want to work out some type of partnership deal with you.
Absolutely.
I was like, yes, because I ate it on your security camera.
That's like, it never came to fruition, but my piece of shit Hyundai like fell apart on me, and I made a bunch of videos on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then Hyundai was like hitting up our sales team, being like, well, we'll get them a replacement. We can maybe do a deal. I'm like, what is cool about this life, there's pressure and haters and all sorts of weird shit, but you can turn all of your bad into money, into material. Like anytime something bad happens, I'm like, well, that's gonna be funny.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing. It's a nice feeling.
It is so funny that Jazz caught that, because like my first instinct would be like, I can't let my family member, significant other, whoever see this.
Yeah.
And then, but like, it is way better to put it on. It's almost like she saved you. Like, all right, you're not gonna get to delete this because that would be. It's not something I'd instinctively put out because I'd want to hide it from people who are close to me.
Right. But after the fact, you know,
just fucking ate it. I know, dude. And I'm telling you, man, it was. And then yesterday, I mean, it's not on camera. I fell into a parked car. So I've just been falling.
What are you like? What are you?
I was like, do I have some type of
vertigo or some
degenerative brain
early
thing? Early
onset dementia.
It's my ankle just keeps. I don't know why now. It's just the tendons in my ankle have completely given up now.
You're telling me Chrissy fucking physical therapy doesn't know what's happening here?
No, because I sprained my ankle so many times in my life that the doctor had told me the cartilage when it grows back like 20% softer, so it just keeps going. Sure. So now it's like I just don't have any support. Like my feet are broken. Like if you could put your feet up like that, my feet just fall in like that. That's what it is. They're always pointed like they're about to go into a high heel.
You're just like a puppet.
Permanent drop foot. And I've been wearing these low top sneakers, those Air Max 270s, which I like. They're comfortable, but my fucking ankle just rolls.
Those got that little cutout.
Yeah, like an idiot. I'm wearing them right now.
Yeah,
and then I fell.
That's terrible for your ankles.
I was going to pick up my steps in it, and I fell into a parked car, and the car went beep, like it just like chirped, like the alarm kind of went off.
Just fat ass bumped it.
Like, we're not gonna make a scene, but we saw it.
So bad.
Warning shot. Don't do any more.
I fell down, like fully ate it. Dude, walking because I've never had stairs. I've never had stairs in my house, so I'm getting used to it. So I go down. I was going downstairs in socks.
Jerry not knowing how to order. I don't know how to walk on stairs because I never had a house before.
I never had stairs. I've never used a stair in my life. I never had them in my house.
I've never had to step onto anything in my life because I'm bored. Fuck you, Distefano.
I was coming down the stairs like in socks, like kind of like just like going down the stairs, and there was a security guy installing a new lock, and so like my staircase goes right by my front door, and I fucking ate it like boom, 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 like head hitting every step, and he just turns around, he's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, you want water?" And then he just continued to drill the lock, but I mean fully ate it, like not like a slip, like back hit the thing, and like every head hit the step, and he didn't even care, like he was like, "Are you all right, dude?"
I did that. I'd rather that than like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" It's like, let me just wallow in this awful, embarrassing moment.
I did that. I rented a house in Asbury Park for July this summer.
Right.
And I'm not used to like bringing your trash out and trash days and shit like that.
That's the whole thing, yeah.
So like at like 6 a.m. I heard the trash trucks on the street. And I had forgotten to put it out the week before, so I just had a ton of excess trash.
Right.
So I jumped up and I went to run down the stairs, and I was like in my like underwear and socks still, slipped down the whole thing like. But the trash guys were already there, so I was like, "Just hold up, please," and they just like just two like adult men just stood there waiting for me while I like limped, and the driveway was like a little longer than it needed to be, so it was like 45 seconds of me like slowly trying to bring the trash
and these
down.
just actual men looking at you that look like such a pussy, a gimp pussy.
Like if it was only 30 seconds away, it would have been fine. But like it was the extra 15 where it's just like, all right, dude, you
couldn't meet me halfway.
Dude, were you hurt? I mean,
I was in pain. I it wasn't
so
lasting
because you
injury.
slipped on socks.
I slipped on socks down hardwood stairs.
So now I have stairs.
That's like being on ice, bro.
Bro, so now I have stair shoes. So now I have a pair of shoes that I keep at the top of the stairs and the bottom because I can't. No, my family is into that.
Trip over those things.
Because I know.
Are you 100 years old?
Because if not,
do you have like a toilet seat that goes on top of the toilet seat so you can sit down on
commode? I'm Chrissy Commode.
You know what we need? We need the fucking like the thing you sit on and it just goes up the steps.
Yes, yeah, that's what I need. What's that thing called? The fucking
stair escalator.
Some shit. So because I've tripped, like I fell fully ate it for the security guy, but then I've like a couple of times tripped down and my all the bedrooms are upstairs. So Jasmine has been like, I don't want you holding our 4-month-old to fall, so you have to put stair shoes on to go up and down. Now that's just the rule for me. And my family, my kids are like, you old piece of shit. Like my
daddy can't carry you unless he puts on his special shoes.
Yeah, loser.
So you are a fucking
Are they
loser.
in like a cubby or something? Because I'm concerned you're gonna trip over them.
No. It's like a little nook behind my staircase that's at the bottom, and then at the top they're like a little bit off
and
to the
what
side.
are they, like cleats? What are we talking about? What do they look like?
One of them. I got them from. They were a podcast sponsor. I'm forgetting the name, which is bad. But they're basically like UGG shoes. Yeah, but they have they're house shoes, right. But they have soles that grip at the bottom.
You can either be like the biggest, oldest fucking loser in the world, or house shoes is kind of like bougie, fancy, rich.
Yeah,
I got my house shoes.
I got house shoes in the winter. In the winter, I have house shoes.
Yeah.
I come home, I kick off my shoes, put on LLB and slippers.
But those, okay. I just call them slippers. That's what house shoes are. Okay. Yeah.
I have like a shoe closet now. That's how I felt like I got a really nice house because it used to be in my apartment. There's just a pile of shoes and coats because we don't have any space. Right. But now it's like I have a shoe. Like right when I walk in to the right, there's a closet. You put your jacket in the closet and you put your shoes in the closet, which is great. And also having floors. Like my house is like never a mess because the kids' shit would always be. Basement. I mean, literally everywhere. And now my basement is a disaster. My basement. It's interesting for me and Jasmine to see because we said it the other day. We're like, this is how we used to live. Like our basement is a nightmare. Like we get claustrophobic going in there. Not claustrophobic. It's relatively big, but like we get like headaches because we're like, this is such a mess.
Oh no, that's the mold, Chris.
Oh yes,
that's the death mold.
That is the mold. I know, dude. I had a humidifier. I got a dehumidifier now. I got all these things, dude. A sump pump. Yeah. I didn't know how to do any of this. Dude,
I used to piss in the sump pump all the time. Kids are gonna start doing that.
Why do you piss in the sump pump?
Because I was like hanging out downstairs. They feel like going upstairs to the bathroom.
So you just piss in the sump pump.
Just piss in the sump pump.
What does a sump pump do?
I don't know. I would piss in the sump pump.
Pumps what water on top?
Well, your basement's probably gonna flood.
Oh, so a sump pump is a preventative thing.
Yeah.
If you flood the sump, you turn the sump pump on, which I don't know how to do.
Correct.
I believe so. It was just a hole I pissed in.
John just had. It wasn't even a sump pump. There was just like a ditch in the corner.
I want to make sure I didn't get pregnant.
We had a call yesterday on our show. This dude was high as a fucking kite, and he's like, somewhere along the way, I learned that piss kills semen. So if I ever accidentally blow in a girl, I'm just gonna pee in there to kill the cum and not.
Is that true though?
No.
Yeah,
I think.
But John kind of believes it.
I don't kind of believe it.
It could be.
His funny thing about it was, first of all, it kills bacteria. So I guess that.
I don't even know if it really does that.
I mean, that's what girls are told. Like, take a piss after sex because.
But I think that just flushes
it
out.
So that changes things. So R. Kelly was just being responsible. You know what I mean? When he was peeing on that girl, it's like I'm just not trying to get away.
I just don't have a baby. Yeah.
But he was like, he's like, you could save a lot of money on abortions. I was like, dude, do you think you can do this 4 months in? Just it's right. The pee is way stronger than Plan B. Like it'll just you just drop a piss.
Well, that's why. That's I had my first daughter. Because I thought, and obviously I'm happy it all worked out, but we had there was all the this care we had to do while she was pregnant because of what happened. I thought, this is dumb, I thought if you had sex with my girl, came inside of her, and then she took a Plan B. Right? Uh-huh. So then I thought for the next 72 hours, nothing could get in.
Coming?
So we had sex so much and I was just laying lows inside of her, but that is not how it works at all. You take the Plan B and then it prevents the one pregnancy. It doesn't just sit in your system like a defense shield for 72 hours. You have up to 72 hours for the Plan B to work to knock the cum out.
Yeah.
So I was I just was lighting her. I mean, living, because I was like, this is 70. We paid $50.
Right.
This is the fun zone. And then 9 months later, here's Delilah.
I would 100% agree with you until right now.
Really?
I'm learning
that
this
logic
as
makes sense.
Yeah.
In my mind, you take the Plan B and the pill goes in there and it it opens up and then there's a wall or something. You know what I mean? That's in your system and good to go.
Then I also used to think that I guess because going to Catholic school they don't teach you this stuff. I thought that a way you could get HIV, or the way you got HIV, was if I had sex with a girl unprotected and her chemistry mixed with my chemistry and it wasn't the right chemistry, that's how you get HIV. It wasn't that one of us had to have a virus. I thought you were mixing
birth
That's
HIV.
Genuinely what I thought. I'm not lying to you until I was about 19 years old.
Bro,
I thought I had HIV every time I had sex with a girl.
My HIV is not my HIV.
Talk about it.
My understanding of HIV isn't much more about when I first started at Barstool, I was 20 or 21. And I wrote an HIV blog that was out of pocket.
horrifically
you came
offensive.
out your face.
It was insanity.
It was so fucking.
It was wildly ignorant.
I was joking, but like it was, if I post that today, I'm in trouble. I'm in
Big trouble.
Well, let's fire it up.
It was true. Like I really thought Nick, don't go looking for it.
I'm looking right now.
Tweet it at me and I will retweet it and be like, this is what I mean.
If I remember, I think he touched them all. I think he was like, you thought you could catch retard, you could catch gay, you could catch AIDS.
Oh yeah, letting it
when
fly.
I was a kid, I used to run when we were at camp. It was true. I was like 9, so I was fucking R-worded myself.
Yeah.
But me and my friend would run from the special needs kids because we thought like they were just sick and you could catch it. Like it was. Fair. It makes sense. Like I just thought they were sick and I didn't want to get sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was a child. I'm 33 now. I don't fucking run on the street. But
I love that at 33 years old you decide to grow that mustache out.
It's like smoking cigarettes too.
Yeah.
He's smoking Marlboro 100s.
What's the reason for the mustache again?
To be an asshole.
Yeah.
I mean, it actually doesn't look bad, if I'm being honest with you.
Well,
I don't think it looks terrible.
It
does.
You should
man.
see what he does with it. Sometimes he. I said it looks like his mouth is a pussy from the 70s that he's eating out.
Yeah.
Because he like licks.
I only do it when I get
disgusting.
food stuck in it. It's only 3 times a day.
Yeah. Dude, my mom and dad got divorced when I was a little kid, and then the next guy my mom dated had a handlebar mustache. Like a full, and I remember my dad being like vividly upset about that. They're like, who is this guy?
Talk about like giving like, fucking with your kids.
She'd be like, are you gonna, I mean, he would be like, are you gonna marry this guy? I mean, should he really be around our kid? He's got a handlebar
mustache is not trustworthy.
That's wild, dude. I mean,
That's
I
wild.
remember I would like take showers, like he was a pretty significant boyfriend, and his fucking mustache cream would be like in the shower in the bathroom.
I know where we were going with that.
Yeah,
I would take showers with him. I would rub his mustache while he...
I'm here to confess that I took showers with my mom's boyfriend, and I liked it.
I don't know if you guys talk about this on the Kevin Clancy show or not, but I have told this story a million times. Your dinner with Cohen.
Oh yeah, we gotta get into
We didn't
that.
talk about it. Yeah,
We gotta get into
dude.
that.
First of all, Steve,
No, it was not a dinner. It was dinner for Cohen. It was Chrissy was working.
Yeah, you
like
were
a
at a
fucking
dinner.
peasant, like a slave. Like dance for me, monkey.
Bro.
I've told this story so many times. Like I was at the table over. I witnessed the whole thing. I didn't even hear it from you.
that story that day. I mean, first of all, here's what happened: is I get an email, from manager. It's like, hey, do you want to do like this private event? Look at the money. I'm like, dude, that's great. Right in New York, I'll do it. Good. So then when we're like,
was it significantly more money? Like, did they offer the money, or do you give a quote, or do you like a price?
Well, I'm sure there was dealings that my manager did.
Okay.
Before it gets to you, it's
Got
like
it.
they kind
So
of
they had negotiated.
Once they send it to me, it's like they feel like, hey, that's the best we could have done if you want to do it. So, but it was pretty good. It was in line, maybe a little bit more than what I would normally get at a corporate gig. It was good.
Okay.
So, and especially in New York, kind of like if it's in New York, it's like the price can change because I'll go do it, come back, whatever.
I could also just see the Cohens. The reason I ask is the Cohens would be like, $100,000. Like, is that?
Yeah.
There you go. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's a banana, Michael.
So first of all, I'll tell a story, but I want to say, like, honestly, earnestly, truthfully, Steve Cohen and his family are like the greatest people. I know it. I know if you're not a Mets fan or whatever you read about paper, whatever, I'm telling you,
Cohen's are good people.
the way I know him and his family, they're like fucking next level, unbelievable people. You're like, dude, you own the Mets?
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, you're like a regular guy. and mad funny and great family. I've become relatively close friends with his son, who's awesome. His wife, his daughters, they're great. And so truthfully. So I do this gig. I didn't know it was for Steve Cohen until about a couple hours before, or maybe like a day before. No, it's for Steve Cohen. And they tell me, they say, listen, you cannot say that you're performing for Steve Cohen nothing about Steve Cohen. This is on the low. It's his
if you don't know, Steve Cohen is Billionaire. The show Billions is based off of him. He owns the Mets. He's a hedge fund shark.
Right. So you cannot, under any circumstances, say that you're doing a birthday party for Steve Cohen. It's his birthday, doing comedy at his birthday party. So I thought that was because they don't want paparazzi to show up, or it was COVID, whatever. But I thought once the gig is over, I could say whatever the fuck I want about Steve Cohen. Yeah. But I was wrong. So what happens though is that's later. So during the set, I get there. I have now prepared. Steve Cohen's got a Puerto Rican wife, Puerto Rican jokes. I'm like, this is going to be great. The reason how I found out later how I was even found was his wife and daughter, who was Puerto Rican and half Puerto Rican, had seen some of my bits online. I'm like, this guy would be good for Dad's birthday, or for my husband's birthday. So I thought, you got a Puerto Rican wife, Puerto Rican family. It's his birthday. His family's going to be there. I'm going to do all my Puerto Rican shit up top. That I know how to do this. 20 minutes
the wife
now.
will be happy.
Puerto Rican stuff. Get the one. You got to get the. And corporate gigs are, by the way, a nightmare. Like people are always like, oh, just do comedy at my birthday party. They don't have a microphone. They don't have a stage. They don't have lights. It is a nightmare. Like music is different. You can zone in and out of music and feel the vibe. If you literally miss 1 second of my joke, you've missed a joke, and I will bomb. Everything has to be online for a comedy. People don't understand that, but whatever. The money was good enough. I'm like, survive in advance, baby. It's like March Madness. Get the money, get the fuck out. You got to buy windows. Fucking your girlfriend wants
this mold.
Yeah, she wants the carpets ripped up for no reason. So I fucking why not? Let's add another show.
My 11th show is Zanies.
Let's do it. So I go in there, and it's a terrifying room. It's a table in a restaurant. Upstairs, outside. So now I'm dealing with New York City traffic, outdoors, full daylight. It's like 6 o'clock in the summer, so not good, nothing good. Then it's 10 guys. It's not his wife and family. It's literally his birthday gift from his wife was go have a night with the guys.
And it's not just guys.
It's not guys. It's other hedge fund billionaires. It's Tommy Mottola, who owns the record company Mariah Carey's ex-husband.
Not Motorola phones, which Chris thought.
Which I thought he owned Motorola phones. It's another team owner. I'm escaping right now. The guy who owns the Jaguars.
Khan?
Tony.
I think that guy was there.
Yeah,
and then other big, all the heads of the Met, the top brass in the Mets, and one MLB guy. So big money there. Everybody Steve Cohen probably is still the richest, I would imagine. But they're all multi-millionaires, billionaires, big money. But 10 guys. So you gotta understand, if you're think about you're a multi-billionaire with 10 guys. You either, if it's going to be comedy, it needs to be Jerry Seinfeld or just strippers. Just get prostitutes in here.
Right.
Let's fucking
do the
be
billionaire
serious.
stuff.
Let's get toots and cocaine. We're billionaires. The last thing I want to see is a 37-year-old comedian I've never heard of that my son kind of thinks is funny because he's also in the closet. So it's like, I don't need that. I don't need this asshole coming up here. No microphone, no introduction. The guy who introduced me, I think his name was Ned or Ted. He was like, works for Steve Cohen. He goes, hey, we got a surprise, Mr. Cohen. Mr. Cohen's, the food had just come out, which I told him 100 times. Let them eat the food, get the drinks, even have dessert, then I'll go on. They bring me out during the first course. No drinks, no dessert, nothing. It's just me and, thousands of dollars worth of beautiful meats and food and all that. The food gets served. Like, hey, we have a surprise. We thought it'd be funny to have some comedy. I swear to God, he goes, here's Chris Delapo. That's what he said. My last name was Delapo. It's Distefano. He goes, here's Chris Delapo.
It's not even close.
I know, Delapo. I was like, what is Delapo? So I go up. Now there's no microphone, nothing. It's a table like this, if you'd imagine, and I'm standing at the edge of it. So all you guys are looking at me. Steve Cohen is sitting this way. So now he has to put his food down and turn around. And I go, hey, my name's Chris Distefano, not Chris Delapo. Like, I'm a comedian. I'm going to be doing some time. I was like, I just tried to joke around. I was like, I told them that it needs to be dark out and, go after, dessert or whatever I said. I was like, but obviously that didn't happen. So whatever. And then Steve Cohen, I think I did one joke that fucking, I genuinely don't remember. I would have no problem telling it, but I forgot what I said, but it was like, Steve Cohen turns around. He goes, how long did they tell you to do? I said, about 30 minutes. He goes, I'll pay you double if you do 10. I was like, wow. Just like that. He goes, I'll pay you double if you do 10. He goes, but in those 10 minutes, you have to make me laugh. I said, fine. Yeah. So then I said, you know what? Forget the set. I'm just going at these guys. And then I just started fucking ripping guys. Things I would never do, but I knew that would make billionaires laugh. Ripping guys for being fat and bald. One guy looked like he had fucking cancer. I just ripped him on that. I was teabagging some guy.
What?
Yeah.
Balls out?
No. Not balls out because I was standing so close to him. So I was just fucking, my nuts were on your shoulders. I know you like it, shit like that. Just kind of almost borderline hack. Because I was like, I just got to make Steve Cohen laugh. And then I know started to giggle. And then I was like, oh. And then the biggest laugh of the night, though, was I said to Tommy Mottola, I said, I said, "Oh, look at you, Mr. Matola." I said, I used to love Mariah Carey. When I was a kid.
Ex-wife.
Yeah, and he goes, I bet you used to love cock as a kid too. And I was like, I still do. Like big laugh, whatever. Killing. Then they got crab cakes came out, and it was an accident, but it didn't look like an accident. Somebody was eating crab cakes and
it was an accident?
went to, well, I mean, I felt it probably, listen, in hindsight, after speaking to them, they said it was, but I don't really think it was. I was fucking in the middle of a joke, and I just got a fucking crab cake right to the chest, and I was like, "Oh my god,
bro! No one accidentally hit someone in the chest with a crab."
Right in the numbers, Chris.
I know.
Right in the fucking numbers.
I know. And then I was like, "Slipper little suckers," like Julia Roberts from Pretty Woman, just fucking. And then I mean, bombing. Steve Cohen. And by the way, during the middle of the set, again, the smallest distraction, ruins the set. Steve Cohen, the owner of the Mets, had the Mets game on during the show, and they were getting fucking blasted by the Rockies, and he was yelling at the team, bring in the relievers! Bring in the relievers! Like that, just screaming at the TV, and as I'm trying to be like, I was on the subway! Just a fucking loser. But true to his word, gave me the more money, gave me the restaurant we did, Stresky's Platoon, great steakhouse in the city, gave me like free meals, said come in anytime. I obviously, my standards, I was like, I will say this. I was proud of myself for, not even proud of myself. I know that like I'm a quote unquote professional comedian because it's like that was like level 10, like when you put the hard on a video game, like that's what that was. It's like that you have to have real experience to even get through that because it was insane. So the fact that I even got to the finish line, I'm like, okay.
If you can do that, you can do anything.
I feel like if I can do that, I can do anything. So then I go on my Hey Babe podcast with Sal Volcano the next day and tell the story and really fucking tell it. Names, this, that. All of a sudden, I wake up. I was in it, and then I had to go to LA the next day. I get 10, maybe 20 missed calls from my manager, like serious shit. And I'm like, spaghetti-o. So he's like, call me like that. He goes, take down Hey Babe. And I was like, what the fuck? I don't, because the thing is, when I do podcasts, as I'm sure when you guys do your podcasts or radio stuff, I don't remember 99% of the things I say.
When we wrap up, they go, what do you want for like promotional clips? I'm like, I don't remember anything we just said.
Dude,
right on the spot.
One of my closest friends in the world, have been for 20 years, hasn't talked to me for a month or two because he came to one of my shows, and I did a podcast the day before saying, I hate when my fucking friends come to my shows. And he's like, that was mean. So like now he like won't talk to me, and I'm like, dude, I don't even remember saying that. Like, I don't even know. I was probably trying to bit, and then I just got sidetracked. Like
I texted him. He said something about JoJo Siwa the other day, and he goes, that was on my Patreon episode though, right? And I was like, oh no, it was on the regular one. He goes, oh, okay.
I said something wildly offensive, and then I texted Pimp. I was like, did you delete that part out? And he just went, just sent back that emoji like
it was funny as fuck. But.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, whatever. So I go on the podcast. I call my manager. I said, what happened? He goes, dude, you mentioned Steve Cohen and the party and all that stuff. Like, they want to like sue you. Like, this is a major.
Who's like they?
Here's what happens. I said to them, I said, what are you talking about? They said, Steve Cohen's people are like wildly upset. So then I go, oh my God, what to do? As I'm like, I texted Pimp, what can we do? And as I'm waiting for him to like get back to me, because I was on LA time, I was scrolling my DMs and my emails. I had an email from Steve Cohen's wife, shout out Alex Cohen, who was like, we loved it. My husband's been singing your praises. We want to invite you to a game. You have a new fan in us. Oh my God, he loved it. He said you were great, blah, 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 blah. Then Steve Cohen's son DMs me, Steve Cohen's daughter DMs me, all DM me, through the course of the night, that day before, we're like, we loved it. Our dad loves you. Like, please, like, where can we see more of you? Blah, blah, blah. So I just screenshot all that and send that to my manager. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah. It was like his people and lawyers who don't know. So once I sent that, they're like, okay, no problem.
We're good.
Because I was like, yeah, the head guy has said it's all fine. And then it's become like a thing. We went to the games. I threw out the first pitch at the Mets game.
Dude, you're going to do that comedic relief thing, right?
The comedic, dude, I was like, honestly, man, that's hilarious. He wants to do a thing where two comedians tell jokes while the Mets relievers are warming up, calling comedic relief, where I'm just up there telling jokes. Then he had me go, because here's the thing with Steve Cohen is, again, billionaire, great guy. there's always stakes with him. So he goes, I bet you can't make a crowd. It was a rain delay at one of the games. He goes, I bet you can't make people laugh. I'll put you on the jumbotron and do stand up. I was like, I do not want to do.
Dude, these are the guys. This is what when you hear about like Jordan betting Barkley about like which pigeon's gonna fucking fly off the ledge first.
I was like, Mr. Cohen,
these guys always need the juice.
I was like, Mr. Cohen, with all due respect, I'd rather do 10 of your hell birthday gigs like butt naked than go out right now with all my jokes and perform for people in a rain delay at Citi Field.
I thought it meant like put on the jumbotron and you like take your shirt off or something. He wanted you to do a set at the fucking rain delay.
No, I did a fifth.
You did it?
I did 10 minutes but I did it where the girl. I put it on my Instagram where the girl. Dude, first of all, I have jumbotron stories.
Shit.
Nobody. I will challenge anybody on this. And please, if you're hearing this and you've been on the write in, I will challenge. Nobody has been embarrassed more on a jumbotron than me, dude. This is not the first go-around for me being wildly embarrassed on a jumbotron. So this one, I go up there. Now I have to tell jokes to people in the rain delay that are like, who is this? Yeah. I was wearing like this multicolored, like weird-looking shirt.
That's fans who hate everything.
Like, look at this fucking loser in this shirt that's going to give me and my kids.
You're a Mets guy or you're a
Yankees guy?
That's what I thought. Okay.
So I go up there. Again, the woman introducing me, it was like the normal Mets on-field broadcaster, doesn't really know my name. She's like, what? She's like, Chris. And then on camera, the camera's rolling. She goes, what is it again? What's your But the audience can hear that loud and clear. They're like, what is it again? I was like, Distefano. She's like,
all impromptu. Like this was never planned. You weren't supposed to do any performing. You were supposed to go there.
And this wasn't televised. This wasn't televised at all. But this was like when all the Cuomo stuff was going on. So I just took a swing. I just opened the show. I go, actually, because she didn't know my last name, and she said like Distriki or something like that. I was like, actually, my last name's Distefano. I was like, I'm not perverted. I'm just Italian. And that had happened like the day before. So I heard like an audible pop. I was like, oh shit. And then, but that was a problem because then I was like, I got him. And then I started doing material and just. So then I started coming.
And this is for like the stadium? Or
the
like
entire stadium. I think insane. I posted some of it, or some of my friends posted some of it. I have. I could show you guys.
Fans in a rain delay. Just go thank the great people of Nassau County. Maybe you can redeem yourself by standing in a booth with people who don't know who you are, and maybe that will help. Well, it's not going to help. Mr. Cohen made it worse. If you thought my back was sweating back then, it is soaked right now. I need a new shirt. Okay, and this guy's been filming the whole time, holding the laughter. It's your nipple jiggling. Okay, just let it out, Will. What's your name, Will Carabello? Let it out. Nipples jiggling. Steve's not laughing to the side. I'll probably be escorted out of the game. I'll probably be escorted out of the game. But what can you do? I already ate 3 burgers and I'm Pepto-Bismol. Hey, Emily.
That's beautiful.
No, it's beautiful. Steve Cohen's son, Josh Cohen, just to cut it off. I appreciate it, Josh. Yes. Josh Cohen. How you doing, bud? You look good? You feel good? I like you, dude. Yeah, okay. Is it a...
Alright,
why are you wrapping up?
You sticking around for game 2?
Am I sticking around for game 2? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's why I'm here. Unless I get thrown out. I'll probably throw up by the 3rd inning. So, thanks, Mr. Cohen. I appreciate you ruining my life again.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Emily.
It literally, and you guys can post it if you want.
Where are you standing? In the suite?
No, in the fucking broadcast booth. But it's getting played onto the jumbotron. And then did I ever tell you so that was like wildly embarrassing, but Steve Cohen, the thing about Steve is, he's like, you got balls.
Yeah.
So that's all it is. These guys, it's about balls.
You gotta do it.
So he's like, you're in, So such a fun time with them. And then, we've went over, we've eaten with them, we go to the games, and just great. But so that was like, I was like, after getting off that moment, I was like, that's still not the worst thing that's happening on a jumbotron. So this is and this is on my Instagram. I know it is. So about 5 years ago, when I have no business being on a jumbotron now. Imagine 5 years ago.
That's not true, but continue.
Yeah, debatable. Maybe in Long Island. Maybe you could put me on the jumbotron for like a second at an Islanders game, and I'm like, okay, I deserve that. But other than that, it's like, no, dude, at MSG, stop. So these are for like supposed to be, big guys. But I knew I'd hosted a show. I'd acted in a show called Benders. It was like a hockey show about like a minor league hockey, a rec league hockey team, and the Islanders and Rangers had like sponsored it. So with that, I got access to like their big PR people, and they were like, hey, you want to come to a game? Like, you come to a game like with your dad, sit courtside, great. I was like, yeah, fucking hell yeah, dude. So, but when you sit courtside and you go to this PR guy, they put you up on the jumbotron. This show, Benders, which got canceled after one season. I mean, nobody watched this show. I didn't have a podcast. I didn't have anything. I was like on Guy Code a little bit, whatever. I'm sitting there with my dad, and I didn't know anything about the jumbotron. I had no idea at all about the jumbotron, and that was going to happen to me. We're sitting down, and people going up, whatever, and then I've never seen this. For the jumbotron, to put somebody in the jumbotron, they turn the lights down at a timeout, and you hear doo-doosh, doo-doosh, doo-doosh. Phil Collins up on the jumbotron. Place goes insane, like, I can feel it, come, and he stands up, waves. They're like, congratulate, Phil, I think you've just been inducted into like the rock and roll. He got some big award. They're like, congratulations, Phil Collins, and he's sitting like legitimately right next to my dad. We didn't even know that was Phil Collins because like I know who Phil Collins is, but he was just like eating Easter egg candy like with his grandkid. I didn't realize that was Phil Collins. And me and my dad was like, and my dad doesn't even know who that is. He was that the guy from Aerosmith? I was like, that's okay. I swear to God, my dad really for real said that. And then literally, so the camera crew comes up, they put the cameras down, lights go back on. I'm like, oh, it's fucking pretty cool. Then I was looking at my phone, looking at my phone, and then I see their shoes stop in front of me, and I was like, I look up, and I was like, what's going on? And he goes, oh, Chris, how do you say your last name? I was like, Distefano. It's like, Chris Distefano.
This very phonetic last name gets you in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. I was like, they were like, all right, you're going up next. And I was like, excuse me? What, going up next where? They were like, on the jumbotron. I was like, no. I was like, it's totally fine. And then literally, I hear the theme song to Benders come on, and it's one scene of me getting checked into the boards with my helmet fucking this way. They go, please welcome Madison Square Garden, Chris Distefano. I'm not lying to you. Seconds before, 18,000 people on their feet clapping as if like the Rangers scored the game-winning goal in overtime to win the Stanley Cup. Like people were losing their minds. Pin drop fucking silence. For me, I'm on the jumbotron waving like I literally look like I had special needs, waving like that. And at the last moment, you just see my father's hand come to the screen and slowly rub my back. And he's just rubbing my back as if to say, this is all going to be over soon, son. It's all going to be over soon. And dude, fucking embarrassing. I swear to God, it's not even a bit. I swear to God, as like the camera was coming down and the lights were going down, somebody from, it felt like Section 300 goes, who the fuck was that? And then that got a pretty big laugh from down by me. And then Tracy Morgan, who didn't go on the jumbotron, interesting, because I guess he was like, man, that was one of the worst ones I ever seen, bro. I swear to God, he was sitting like 2 rows. He goes, that was one of the worst ones I ever seen, bro. He goes, you a comic? I never heard of you. I was like, I want ice cream.
Phil Collins is like the perfect person for that story. Like to go right before, like, dude, it's so perfect. The drums,
literally, doo-doosh, like, and I was like, I was having so much fun. Good. I mean, dude, brutal. That was like the second quarter. Me and my father left at halftime. I couldn't. My dad understood. He was like, this is a once in a lifetime experience, but I get it. We got to get out of here. My dad was like, this is bad, dude.
Who the fuck was that?
Dude, and then one time I played in the MLB celebrity softball game, and I went like 0 for 3 at the plate. And, like we went on a bus. My dad came with me, and we took a bus, like a little bus, like 3 blocks from the stadium back to our hotel. I like popped up to the catcher, struck out in a softball game, and then grounded out to like the pitcher, who was like a girl that was like mauled by a tiger. It was like some like she like it was brutal. I was like just fucking embarrassed myself. And then literally, I swear to God, on the bus, my dad, Ricky Henderson, Ozzie Smith, and Andre Dawson, the Hawk, were berating me for 3 blocks. My dad was like, I'm embarrassed. His name's on the back of the jersey. Ozzie Smith was killing me. He was like, man, you embarrassed your daddy. And I was like, yeah. And then I literally woke up. I woke up the next morning. Like, I was kind of like a little pissed. I was like, come on. Yeah, like, this is so embarrassing. And speaking of that, the celebrity softball, this is just my luck. Celebrities, 45,000 people, Target Field, Minnesota. At the time, this is who it was in a row. A guy who had got both his legs blown off in Iraq. Adrian Peterson and me going 1, 2, 3 for the introduction. Guy gets his leg blown off. People are crying American flag. Adrian Peterson, star running back of the Vikings at that time, and then me. Just a full fucking zero again. I mean, I'm talking about. That's why, like, when people are like, are you afraid to bomb? It's like, you don't know what I've went through. Have you ever had 45,000 people be like, who the fuck are you? Literally, I mean, Bin Laden would have got a bigger pop, you know? And I was just like, I'm done. And then 0 for 3, and then them just berating me. And then I wake up the next morning because my dad and I, we shared a room. I wake up, I'm like, where the hell's my dad? Like, I checked the bathroom. I was like, text him, no response. I go downstairs. My dad's with Ozzie Smith getting coffee. My stepmother texted him pictures, like baby pictures of me, and they're just making fun of my head size. I swear to God. Dude, like, his head's so big. And I was like, is this like am I in like a sitcom, like America's Funniest Home Videos? So Ozzie Smith just losing my, just ripping me because of how big my fucking head looked. And my dad was like, we used to think he had a tumor. I swear to God. And then I was like, what the fuck, man? But then it was pretty cool to like sit down and have like a croissant with Ozzie Smith. Then I remember my dad asked him, he was like, how did you like baseball all those years? Like, he was like, I don't know, man. He was like, I pretty much, I just did it. He's like, it's pretty fucking easy for me. That's what he said. He was like, it was pretty easy, man. I was like, wow. Wow.
It's like, I don't really like it. I just do it.
Yeah. No,
dude, I feel like there are a significant amount of athletes like that, where it's like, I don't like this sport. Like, in Massachusetts, with Chris Herron was like, he talks about how he had like, he just thought he was supposed to do it because he was so good at it. He never even liked it. And then on a much smaller scale, I got a buddy who played like college hockey, threw his skates away right after the last game. She's like, I'm never touching those ever
There's
again.
a baseball player, Anthony Rendon, who
Yeah.
In his career, said, I hate baseball, and then he signed a $100 million contract.
Yeah, it just happens.
It's like, I'm just good at this, but it fucking sucks.
I did a gig once in Washington, D.C. This was before, like, he got quote-unquote canceled for the Kevin Spacey Foundation. And we did was, like, in, like, 1%, the one percenters or whatever, like, in this really bougie venue in Washington, D.C. for all, like, politicians or whatever. And the Kevin Spacey Foundation, they were doing something, but they wanted a comedian to open. I got chosen, or my agent, whatever. So I did 10 minutes up front. It actually didn't go that bad, but Cal Ripken was a part of that foundation at that time. And Cal Ripken, I go on and I come back and Cal Ripken goes, I don't know how you just did that, man. I was like, you're Cal Ripken Jr.
Yeah.
I was like, you're like a Hall of Famer. He goes, honestly, however nervous you just were, he goes, I guarantee you, I would be 10,000 times more nervous doing stand-up than ever playing baseball. And
dude,
I was
there's
like,
way less of you guys than baseball players. There's a lot of fucking baseball players. I mean,
yeah,
not
Cal Ripken level.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of guys who play ball, and there's like, right now there's like, of course, there's a ton of comics, but there's like a handful of good ones.
Yeah.
I mean, it is comparable. It's like athletes and comics, I think, are comparable. And I think most people in general find the public speaking. It's like the professional sports, most people are like, I just can't do that.
Right.
Whereas, like, I could physically get on a stage and try to make people laugh, but I'm not fucking doing that. Like, that is a crippling fear.
I know.
You guys are masters of.
And it kept getting shot down because I guess maybe the idea is like not original enough. But I wanted to do a show once where like a comedian, an athlete, like let's say somebody fun, like Noah Syndergaard. Like Noah Syndergaard comes and does stand up. I teach him how to do stand up, and then he teaches me how to pitch. You know what I mean? And something like that, and see like who can get like more
Better
laughs or
at
more strikes, whatever it is. But I just kept getting shot down because I'm Chrissy fucking Pilots. I've got the one show I got in the air I absolutely hate. Backyard Bar Wars, hashtag BBW True TV. Season 2, I'm not doing it.
Why do you hate it?
I just fucking I don't. It's just because I don't hate it. I just
openly says this on. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Every show
True
I
TV
go,
must be like, can you stop it?
Well,
please?
they kept saying to stop calling it BBW because they were like
that
that means
like tweet that.
They were like that means something else. I was like, I didn't even realize.
That's what's fucking gonna work. That's why it's funny.
I think because like the podcast, internet stuff, it's like you could just be free and all that. And True TV, even though like the showrunner, he did a really good job, I think, of like letting as many edgy jokes fly as possible. There's still just a degree of like, fucking look at my drill that you have to do. Like, ooh,
We get that here now. We have like some like more professional shoots, and I'm sure it's not even to the level that you have to deal with, but it's still like, you can't say that. Can you redo that shoot? Like, no,
I didn't even say anything.
Yeah, I want to say it like that, but no, it's just like a bit that I just shit on the show. But I mean, they're probably not funny.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't think they think it's a bit.
I mean, as soon as they offer me the contract for season 2, I'll immediately take it. I mean, immediately I'm in. So yeah, but
I love it, babe. We're gonna go before you go. We're just gonna answer the internet real quick.
Let's do answer the internet.
So Chrissy D, he's got Hey Babe. He's got Chrissy Chaos, Christy Comedy. See him on the road.
BBW2.
BBW2. ChristyComedy.com.
Nobody better than you, babe.
Patreon.com. Yep, that's it, baby. Thank you for having me.
If you're watching on YouTube, click here to subscribe so that you get all the new episodes as they come out. And John, what should they click if they want notifications? Make sure you click thumbs up for the like, hit that bell icon.